God is good, and today I want to review Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward for 2020. How does it hold up? How enjoyable is it? Does it share the same fetch quest ridden design as A Realm Reborn? And so much more. But before I begin, if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you are interested in MMORPG. I normally specialize in the old school kind, as well as RPGs, CRPGs, and JRPGs, all that sort of thing. And a big shout out to the members of Napalm for allowing this channel to keep chugging along. Thank you all so much for your support, and if you are interested in becoming a member of Napalm, please click the join button down below for more information and a list of perks. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, although I enjoyed A Realm Reborn, playing it in 2020 is much more troublesome than it was when it launched, and I found myself grinding through the quests and stories as quickly as I could. I also felt it was a little too cinema scene heavy at times. Now for Heavensward, I have to start by saying I found the main story quests that must be completed to move on and into the next expansion to be far more enjoyable, and the story itself was also well improved. This is a story worthy of the Final Fantasy name and easily could have been an entry in the Final Fantasy single-player game sporting this very same story. It's full of epic, twisting, turning plot lines, magic, and dragons aplenty. If you like dragons, you will love this story. Now the story is so good, and honestly it only gets better beyond Heavensward, I'd like to mention as well. But it's so good that I actually feel sorry for anybody who hasn't experienced it. The places the story will take you just continue to get better, all the way to the story's conclusion, which is quite a conclusion I have to also add. Now granted, this is a World of Warcraft style MMO, so although I would prefer a more organic approach, such as Visionary Realms is doing with Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, this straightforward storytelling is done remarkably well, and in my opinion, nobody does it as well as Final Fantasy XIV. You will laugh, rejoice, and drop tears from your eyes amidst the gorgeously crafted characters and breathtaking musical soundtrack that will haunt you for years, if not your entire lifetime. So yes, the story is great. Now let's talk about the world though, because in my opinion, there were major upgrades to these zones when compared to A Realm Reborn zones. They were much more open and with much more to see and do. And the Aether points, which must be collected, by the way, in order to fly in each zone, are strategically placed in order to find them. Sometimes with a little bit of exploration or using the environments to get to them, but in a non-intrusive kind of way, and most, if not all, will be found if you keep your eyes peeled from simply following the story. Heavensward takes you into a land that has been forbidden from the eyes of foreigners, and it is a land filled to the brim with European design that is shockingly gorgeous at times, but also very steeped in traditional fantasy, I would like to mention as well. And discovering all these locations was a huge part of the joy of this expansion. The dungeons are also very well designed, and once again a huge upgrade from A Realm Reborn's. Once you do unlock flying, you have usually already explored the land on foot, and it feels like a fair balance to this type of game, and zipping around the vistas at that point feels invigorating and exciting. Overall, the world you will discover while playing Heavensward is a delight, and you will greatly enjoy it. Now, not much has changed in the way of combat, although by this point the strategies you have learned thus far will only advance further, with more required mechanics, which is a good thing for this style of tab targeting with a bit longer global cooldowns than something, for example, such as World of Warcraft. I would like to once again point out that the cooldown is only slightly longer, and by this point of the game, should you have played through A Realm Reborn, you will have adjusted to it being a slight bit more strategic and less button mashy as many MMO counterparts, and it's one of the things I actually enjoy. There are still boss fights that are tank and spank, but you'll also find many mechanical fights in many of the dungeons the story takes you through. Final Fantasy XIV is definitely a game that is ever so slowly teaching you everything you need to know for in-game raiding, as it is a huge draw to this game, and by the time you get there, you'll be ready for it for the most part, and the learning curve in my opinion is a lot less extreme than it is in games such as World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online, but also some of the most challenging raid content you're likely to find. But alas, that comes much later than Heavensward, so I digress. Overall, the combat is much more what you have come to accustomed to from A Realm Reborn, although with some more abilities that you will gain from the extra 10 level advancement that you're going to get as you work your way through Heavensward. I would say there's around 40 to 50 hours of content here, and that's just simply going through the storyline, and that's rushing your way through. You could easily spend several hundred hours in Heavensward if you decided to go down all the rabbit holes, but chances are Heavensward will just be kind of a sightseeing tour on your way to the latest expansion and or the end game. This expansion also was the end, when it released, for the PlayStation 3 support so that they could allow faster traveling mounts in larger, more open zones, and from that, the graphics do look more varied and higher quality than those of A Realm Reborn, as well as dungeon design was able to get more complex. This is something I respect Square Enix for doing, discontinuing in order to grow. When you release an MMO on a console, things like this must happen, in my opinion, in order for your world and your game to continue to grow and get better as new tech is released. Overall, if you're looking for a very engaging MMO with fun combat, and you don't mind a vast majority of the group-based content is in instances, and you don't mind a story-heavy narrative driving the game, then this is a very solid option. As for new accounts, you can make a free account and play all the way through A Realm Reborn and Heavensward before having to spend a cent. And in the world of MMOs, I would say this is the best try it before you buy it deal out there. This game is actually pretty complex both vertically and horizontally, and I actually would recommend it for sure as long as you're okay with the aforementioned traits of this MMO. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review of Heavensward, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so, especially if you love MMO content, RPGs, JRPGs, CRPGs, all that kind of thing. That's what we do here. And a big shout out to the members of Napalm for keeping my lights on, for all of your support. I couldn't do this without you, and if you are interested in becoming a member, please consider clicking the join button down below for more information and a list of perks for doing so. Until next time though, guys, God bless and happy gaming.
Please listen to what I say. I've been making videos all day. It's a video buffet, you can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize, but just please just subscribe and hit the bell notification too.